us here from Allen Fieldhouse. Joe Tessitore, Sean Farnham here. Been a roller coaster ride season for Texas A&M. Let's talk about how they've arrived at this point.
I might not even say roller coaster. Might say a mountain peak and then a steep drop off, because that's how it all started for them. It was on the incline on the way up. Second in the SEC preseason poll. They started the year over in Germany and they knocked off West Virginia in dominating fashion. They won 11 of their first 12. They were number 5 in the country. Then DJ Hogue gets suspended. Injuries to a couple of starters. They ended up not just losing the first 3, but the first 5 games in the SEC. They need to get back to their non-conference form today against Kansas and maybe get some confidence back underneath them. Confidence is the key word for the Kansas Jayhawks. They're currently ranked 5th in the country right now, Tess, but they're coming off that loss on Tuesday. They own unranked opponents inside this building. They want to continue that dominance today.
Yes, this building, where it is so hard to get it done on the road. And the Aggies will try to climb that mountain here. Starting lineups are brought to you by Audible.com. Of course, Kansas is led by senior guard Devontae Graham. He has been an Iron Man, played 40 minutes in each of the last 3 games. A little bit of a shaky shooting game in the loss to Oklahoma. The Aggies proudly put forth the Twin Towers with Davis and Williams. But TJ Starks will start at guard. First start of his career. Let's check in with Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, we talked about the disturbing trend that has started with teams spelling Udoka as a bouquet, the hack-a-doke as we're calling it. So Bill Self spent extra time with him in practice. Well, this week, he made 9 in a row. He seems to have corrected some angles with his elbow. We'll see if hack-a-doke comes into play.
That has been such the focus of recent practices here.
There's no more special environment in college basketball than the one that you and I are sitting in right now. You've been to a lot of great venues. This is your first time ever at Allen Fieldhouse.
Well, it's a thrill. As a guy who grew up in the Big East and spent recent years in the Big Ten and SEC, to experience this, it is something. DJ Hogue gets the day going, and he has struggled the last 2 games shooting from the outside. You see Davis now limping off.
Concern for Davis, a smile if you're an A&M fan. Hogue 0 for 8 in the last 2 games from beyond the arc. Tyler Davis set the screen as he went to go post up. He kind of got leg whipped, like an offensive lineman leg whipped on that left calf.
That was with Gerald Vick coming across, and you can see Davis noticeably limping as he will take a seat. The medical staff will tend to him.
They don't want to play a long period of time without him because he is the heart and soul of this Texas A&M team.
Mikhailuk off the glass, rebound, Doak. And they take advantage of the second chance, Malik Newman.
Statistically speaking, your opportunity to find a clean look on an offensive rebound from beyond the arc goes dramatically up because the defense is collapsing to the paint, and that's exactly what the Jayhawks did.
15-footer from Hogue. So 5 quick points for DJ Hogue, the 6'9" junior. Trying to get it inside to Azubuike. And the foul will be charged on Robert Williams.
Stylistically here, Tess, you've got 2 very different teams. You got 4 guards around 1 big for Kansas, and you've got great size for Texas A&M underneath, whether it's Tony Chocho Morelos in there right now or with Robert Williams or Tyler Davis back on the floor.
Azubuike rejected that time by Williams.
Good recovery defensively on this possession so far for A&M.
3 seconds.
Not a good sign for Aggies, by the way. Good defensive possession, but during that possession, Tyler Davis got up and walked into the back tunnel area, and that's something to, again, keep an eye on. This is a guy that is a double-double almost every single game for Billy Kennedy.
Turnover now. Newman in transition, and they will set things up. Tyler Davis so consistent for them. Mikhailuk for 3. As you see, Davis right there off to the side of the bench.
Well, guys, the outstanding athletic trainer of Texas A&M has been rolling the back of that high ankle behind trained his left leg like a rolling pin. They actually had him get up, go out into the tunnel, and do some movement exercises, see if he could get moving a little bit better. I anticipate he'll be able to return.
Gilder had no chance trying to drive there against Oak.
A poor recognition, though, on that last defensive possession by A&M. Good rotation here by KU, but Mikhailuk shoots better than 56% from beyond the arc inside this building. You cannot leave him open even in transition. It's scouting report awareness.
Shot clock at 4. By the way, as Davis has made his way back to the bench, their most consistent player is Tyler Davis, the only player on this roster to start all 20 games. Between injuries and some discipline issues with suspensions, they have struggled to have their consistent core out there.
You want to talk about consistency, look at number 4 in White, though. He has been a picture of consistency this year.
Here's Vic looking for more production out of him. Ball is loose and he tracks it down. Mikhailuk again! Mikhailuk shooting over 47% from 3. Here's Williams now. Starks, first start of his career, off the mark as it bounces out and will be Kansas ball.
It looked like it should have been a sure rebound for Robert Williams. A good job defensively, avoids the foul, but then just got a little bit lazy with it. Vic picks it up, Williams closes out, looks over and sees number 10 and sees wide open space around him. That's a layup from the outside.
Mikhailuk had 24 points the last game against Oklahoma, and he tied a career high with 6 3-pointers made.
The biggest key I'm seeing right now is gap integrity at the defensive end of the floor for Texas A&M. Because of their size, Davis checks back in the game, but because of their size, they're closing out, they're spacing the floor offensively by the Jayhawks. They're driving and creating seams and angles because they're hugging to the shooters. They've got to still space off and then be able to recover.
So Davis comes back in after missing just a couple minutes to deal with that lower leg issue. Hove for 3. Mikhailuk on the glory end. Starks on the drive, aggressive, and he earns it. How does Davis look to you out there, Sean?
Davis looks like he's moving okay right now. There's nothing overly noticeable that's limiting him from success.
Here's Newman.
What a start for the Jayhawks. Not a surprise. When they're on this floor, when they're in front of this crowd, and they get it rolling from deep, they're as good as dangerous as anybody in the country.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And in part by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life.
Well, the Big 12 SEC Challenge means that there's some SEC announcers who are coming to Big 12 country. Joe Tessitore, his first time in this building, so of course, me as the Big 12 reporter, I had to give him a tour of Lawrence.
Here's Massachusetts Street. Welcome. One of my favorite streets in all of America for college towns. So this is Naismith Drive. This is the beginning of campus, and this is Allen Fieldhouse. Old Fieldhouse. They have appropriately updated it and made it just, to me, one of the more unique places in America for college sports. Those are the rules etched into this metal, and at night it lights up.
This is what you expect. You expect this out of Wrigley. You expect this when you go to see the races at Saratoga. You expect this out of Lambeau. And you expect this out of Allen Fieldhouse.
Good seeing you, man. Everything okay? Oh, it's wonderful. Good.
Dude, it's even better than you think it's going to be. It's more authentic than you think it's going to be. And you can tell they care for it in that way.
270th sellout. I'm thrilled to be here. You know, I mentioned Saratoga and the races there because I grew up in that part of the country. It's like stepping back in time, being at the old-time venerable racetrack to me, coming to a spot like this.
That's my wife's birthday weekend, and I said no better place to go than Lawrence, Kansas for this basketball game to take in this environment. Such a special and unique place.
Thrilled to have Sarah with us. She's having a great time. Here into Davis. Duck under, denied.
Great defense by Azubuike, maintaining his position and strength.
Newman from the corner. Well, they started the game so red hot shooting the long ball. They were 4 of 5 before that timeout.
One of the things Kansas does a great job, and they've done it early in this game test, is creating points off of turnovers. A&M has struggled in the turnover department as of late. They've had 2 turnovers lead to 6 points. They have to value the basketball.
Starks. He hits from the corner. Much needed for the Aggies.
Impressed by the young guard in his first start test to come in and play with the composure we've seen early here.
Talk about the fact that he's playing with so much more control lately. He's been figuring things out. You better be to play in a spot like this. Devontae Graham, who averages 17.8 per game.
You can't go under the screen. Gilder goes under. That gives him a gap and a space to finish.
Gilder responds on the other end offensively. He has been working his way back, tore his meniscus and had surgery in mid-December and missed 5 games. Azubuike working against Davis. Out to Vic. Back into the big. Tries to split him and then couldn't get the roll with the right hand.
Wonderful post defense. I think the matchup you see between 34 and 35, it's like 2 walls running into each other. Neither one is giving up space.
Now on the other end, here's Davis. As he backs in with the shoulder and comes across through the lane with the right hand. This is going to be an intriguing matchup all day long.
Tess, you cover boxing all the time for Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. World Championship Boxing. By the way, you have a fight next Saturday. In case you forgot.
How dialed in you are, Farnham.
All right, but it's like 2 heavyweights right now underneath for A&M and Kansas.
Well, and 2 guys who aren't afraid to fight on the inside, to battle for position and be able to earn it the right way. Reminder that Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T will be Kentucky against 7th-ranked West Virginia. That is part of the Big 12 SEC Challenge and available on the ESPN app as well. In their last 12 against top 10 teams on the road, Kentucky 1-11 mark. Going to be a challenge tonight against that West Virginia team looking to bounce back.
Well, the benefit for Kentucky that you could say, if there's any benefit in that game for the Wildcats, is the fact they played South Carolina not that long ago. And Frank Martin's team plays a very in-your-face style of defense. It's different than Coach Huggins. But at the same time, at least it can replicate somewhat what they're going to see. What South Carolina doesn't have, though, is Javon Carter, who's one of the best guards in all of the country.
By the way, speaking of South Carolina, I thought that was a great way to get this Big 12 SEC Challenge underway today, to see what 14th ranked Texas Tech did in the final minutes against South Carolina. Evans was just awesome there, Farnham.
Just the control, the composure, because it looked like South Carolina had that game.
Davis working against Lightfoot now.
Mismatch underneath. Lightfoot. No, they don't play through him, but he has an opportunity to get an easy one. You got J.J. Caldwell at 6'1" on 6'8".
Williams with the finish. Loop. That's a long 2, and it rattles in.
They're going to take a look at it to make sure it is indeed a 2. I think you're right. I think it will remain a 2 when the officials go and look at it. But how about this start from Mikhailuk?
10 points for Steve. Williams feeds it inside as Garrett came in defensively. 4-point game as it stands now. As we take a look at Bill Self in our Infinity Coaches Corner. Of course, recent inductee into the Hall of Fame. He's won 25 or more games in each of the last 12 seasons. Take an Infinity timeout in your day to vote for your favorite coach and charity.
For 48 top NCAA coaches, a timeout can mean a win off the court, too, in the Infinity Coaches Charity Challenge. But they need your help. Take a timeout to vote for your favorite coach and help him win up to $100,000 for his charity. Vote today at infinitytimeout.com. Infinity. Empower the drive.
The heart and soul of A&M, it starts with number 34, Tyler Davis, and this game has been a bear for him to get going. Azubuike playing outstanding defense, not giving him the angles that he normally gets, because if he gets you on your shoulder and he can overpower you, he can finish. That time a little extension of the elbow that he got away with made life easier on the hook shot. Lightfoot comes in, watched what his fellow big was doing, forced Davis to settle for that shot, and you do not want him settling. You want him attacking and being aggressive.
Here's Holly with more.
Thing that Billy Kennedy just addressed in the huddle. He talked to his posts or his guards about feeding the post. He wants more post touches. He knows he's got an advantage size-wise in there, particularly when Azubuike is on the bench. So he wanted them taking advantage of that more in that last time out.
And the other thing they need to take advantage of is to pay off what Holly was just saying is that size, that height. Test, they need to get on the glass. They need to get some second chance points opportunities. They only have 1 offensive rebound so far in this game.
Yeah, they come in 3rd nationally in total rebounds per game, 5th in defensive rebounds per game. They've only been out-rebounded in 3 games this season. So it has long been a clear advantage. You got to make it count. Right now, 11-0 edge in fast break points for Kansas. And also hitting the threes. They are 5 of 7 shooting the threes. Back to Davis. With the left hand off the glass.
See how he created a little bit of a seam? He goes into the body towards the middle and then stepped right underneath. One thing Lightfoot's doing a nice job. They're forcing him to catch the ball outside of the paint. Tyler Davis loves to bury you deep.
Vick puts it home. LeGerald Vick. And on the reverse, after pushing it, Mitch Lightfoot.
Well, J.J. Caldwell, though, forcing the issue. The errant pass leading to the transition look. 13 points already in fast breaks out of the 25, Tess.
Caldwell, the redshirt freshman for the Aggies, who has not played a lot recently. Here's Newman in transition. Good job by Malik Newman. And all of a sudden they push it to 9. Beware of the fog. A&M is finding out the hard way.
Well, this week, Bill Self challenged LeGerald Vick. He said, you're not putting your handprint on these games. Well, here he is. He's made 2 crucial hustle plays, and none better than that right there, where he gets the turnover, feeds Mitch Lightfoot. 2 assists already for LeGerald Vick on hustle plays, things that he has run down. He is trying to make an impact in other ways than scoring. He hasn't scored in double figures since December, so he is trying to make an impact in other ways. And I see the effort, guys. I think Bill Self's talking to has made an impact.
I agree with you, Holly. He made that comment about not putting his handprint on things. As he went further to say, hey, it's not an effort deal, it's a mindset. You can't just play safe. Davis, denied by Doak. Azubuike has been so active defensively. Another turnover. This time, Marcus Garrett on the go. Newman had a chance to feed inside. Instead, the skip. Here's Vick, short corner. Too much muscle on it. Graham, long ball. Run for Kansas. Aggies need to settle in, stem things. Caldwell looking to take 15-footer. Newman. Not this time. Davis for three. Tapped out. Back to Caldwell. Caldwell tried to use his body there, and that time Williams getting involved, and he was fouled.
Tess, I want to take you back, though, to the previous defensive possession for Kansas. Here's where you need to watch. Watch the heady play by Garrett. He's baiting J.J. Chandler into this pass. He leaves the interior presence and jumps the lane. The result of that turnover, as it's been for a majority of the first half, ended with a made three-point shot for the Jayhawks. That's an outstanding read by a player who really, as Holly's talking about, guys trying to make their impact. His impact at the defensive end of the floor, his communication, his movement and reaction has been superb so far today.
Williams at the line as Garrett picks up his second. Williams with 15 career double-doubles, coming off a 21 and 15 effort in that road loss at LSU.
I feel like earlier this year he went through an identity crisis.
How so, Sean?
Just listening to, okay, the next level I need to be able to prove to people I can shoot the ball. And he forgot about what he does best, and that is dominating 5 feet and in. Blocking in the basketball. And then monster dunks.
Oh, he is an unbelievable leaper. Of course, has that 7'3" wingspan. Vick nearly got himself caught in midair. Mikhailu unable to clean things up. Tapped around and into the hands of DJ Ho. A 10-0 run from Kansas moments ago. Ho well short that time.
Well, I think Hogue wanted to pass the ball to Williams, but he was standing straight up anticipating the shot. He wasn't ready to receive the pass.
Mikhailu from the corner. Money! What a start! 13 for speed.
Tess, I don't know if you know this or if you've seen it enough already in this game, but if you leave him open for three inside this building, it's going down. That is inexcusable that A&M has not figured that out yet.
5 guys in the room need to learn that. As Williams answers on the other end. Back into the hands of Garrett, over to Vick. That kind of afternoon at Allen Fieldhouse. All energy and seemingly everything from range is dropping. 9 of 13 on threes for Kansas. Rattles out for Williams.
For the Jayhawks to be elite, it obviously is going to fall on the shoulders of their guards. It's been that way all season long. It's going to continue to be. Their floor spacing superb. Look at the quality of shot. Get the defense to pinch down low. Find somebody else. Then skip pass as they overhelp and they're standing in the middle of the floor. Good looks, good shots. Rolling.
Mexican spices? Nacho cheese sauce? They don't want these coming out.
Who's they?
The burger people, they.
Nacho fries, now serving at a Taco Bell near you.
I'm Adnan Burke back in our college basketball studios updating you on Tennessee and Iowa State. This is James Daniel here with the putbacks. Currently, Vols at the 31-19 edge. That game's on ESPNU. Also, SEC Big 12 action, TCU Vanderbilt. That game's on ESPN2. Anchor down right now, 3-point lead at the half. Also, Miami, Florida State. Seminoles are up by 5. Back to Joe Tess.
Thank you, my man Burke. Big 12 up 3-2 right now in this challenge. Third year in a row that it's been the one-day challenge. Keenan Evans was one of the stars of the day down the stretch in that rally for Texas Tech to win at South Carolina. The big NBA scout drooling matchup went to Alabama down in T-Town, Farnham.
Yep, and then Chris Chio's an outstanding guard. His experience paying off for Florida. A big game for him.
He had 20 points thumping Baylor.
Getting back to this game, inside the arc, Kansas is shooting 36%. Not good. Outside of it, 69.
Good rebound by Azubuike. Mikhailuk on the drive with the right hand. An 18-3 run after A&M pulled to within 2.
And see, what happens is you go into your timeout and your coach says, hey, guys, listen, they're shooting 69% from beyond the arc. We've got to close out. We've got to get out there. Now you're closing out even harder. That's when you start to drive.
Wilson. Back of the neck there, but the long rebound stays with the Aggies thanks to Trosha Morelos. Tough stretch shooting the ball for A&M. Meanwhile, Svi is not bashful at all with the hot hand. Why should he be?
He was 6 of 10 prior to that shot, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc.
Stoke charged with the foul. And we see Sylvia De Sosa come into the game. Sosa just joined the team this semester, graduated mid-year from IMG Academy down there in Florida. Had a bit of a struggle coming in last time. 3 quick turnovers, a little bit of nerves getting the best of him.
Tess in 1 minute. He had 3 turnovers in 1 minute. That's hard to do.
Other way.
Well, you think about how unique it is for Silvio De Sosa. He should be in high school right now, but they found out that academically he could make this happen. He had enough credits, so they came in at the mid-year. He's only been on campus here in college for 3 weeks. His head is spinning. He says every single day is something new that I'm learning, like how to get to class, how to get to practice, how to be on time everywhere. He said that he wanted to be a doctor, but academically things are just difficult right now. He was born in Angola, or in Spain, and moved to Angola as a kid, and his life is a little crazy right now, but he's settling in here at Kansas.
I can only imagine. My first couple of weeks at UCLA, I don't remember a thing. You fish out of water. I came from a small town to a 32,000 student body going, wait, where's class? Where am I supposed to sit? How am I supposed to do this? I can only imagine trying to do that mid-year and then playing catch-up to understand what he needs to do out on the floor with this group.
And also not playing soft non-conference basketball. You're coming into the meat of the Big 12 season when you're hitting the floor. The turnovers we referenced, that's a game. Oklahoma steps that time as Wilson got caught up. Wilson's been dealing with a right knee injury, and he has not looked to be at 100%. NBA Saturday primetime game. Could it be a finals preview? We got Celtics and Warriors, and coverage will tip with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. Celtics looking for a sweep of the Warriors. They beat them back in Boston 92-88.
Playing without Marcus Smart, though, who lacerated his hand while staying in the hotel in Los Angeles after the Lakers loss, before the Clippers win. They won against the Clippers, lost to the Lakers.
He was so embarrassed. He went on Twitter, apologized to the fan base, said, I'm going to learn from this mistake. And what a mistake that is. Got to act like a pro all the time. Hold.
He's actually been the best offensive weapon today for Texas A&M. He's shooting the ball with confidence.
Told you about the struggles he's had recently in shooting from outside. Second leading scorer on the team.
You can get that shot though anytime. You got to turn that one down because you're giving up that one.
And into the hands of Starks. Morelos denied with the trailing De Sosa. Possession will go with Kansas.
Kansas has done a lot of good things at the offensive end of the floor, but don't overlook what they've done at the defensive end of the floor. In transition, it should be an easy 2. It's 3-on-2 in favor of the Aggies. But De Sosa trails and recovers. Jump ball. It'll be Kansas's when we come back.
He loves the camera, too. He has a lot of fun playing.
The Pro Bowl, tomorrow, 2:50 Eastern, on ESPN and ABC.
Joe, Sean, and Holly with you. Kansas a 15-point lead. 5 blocks purposed defensively today, Sean.
Well, it's about Kansas right now, and it's about trying to find your role on the team for De Sosa. One of the ways you can carve out more minutes is you can hustle. He's deep underneath the rim. It looks like it could be a layup. Does he give up on the play, or does he follow through and do the little things that help find you a win at home and then eventually also on the road? I really like what I just saw out of De Sosa. And I'm telling you right now, this is the best defense Kansas has played in at least the last month. Their rotations, their effort, their communication has been extremely crisp here in the first half against the Aggies.
A&M shooting 33%. Just 2 of 10 from 3. Kansas has been red hot shooting the threes.
There's so much focus on the offense. Everybody says, hey, Kansas at times looks like it's disinterested at the defensive end of the floor. A couple of these home losses, these unexpected home losses like the one to Arizona State, they allowed their opponent to come into this building and feel really comfortable. Nothing has been comfortable so far in the first 17+ minutes of this game for Texas A&M.
You got it.
Thank you, Holly. I agree.
Hogue took steps as he tried to turn and get the step around to the lane. Holly?
Well, guys, I wanted to say you're all over it, Sean, because they're different defensively today. I have a theory as why is they had a very tough game on the road Tuesday at Oklahoma, but then Bill Self gave them 2 full days off this week. They are recovered a little bit. They've rested. But then yesterday, they got into it at practice. Bill Self kept adding extra time on the clock. I saw guys spitting into the garbage can. It was tough, and they are refreshed and relaxed. And then a 1-hour film session where he really got after them. I feel like they've had a very productive week.
Very productive work from Azubuike.
It goes back to what makes Bill Self a Hall of Fame coach. You have to understand the pulse of your team, and that pulse and the initial reaction is let's go crazy because we lost the game. We got to get back. We got to work. Sometimes give space gives you a different perspective.
Denied and then slapped away. Shot clock down to 1. Going to have to launch it, and it'll be a violation.
Well, when you've got a player like Doak in the middle, you wonder why he shoots 70+%. Catch, finish, easy. 3 feet and in is where he is at his most productive state on the floor. 1 foot and in, and the rim starts feeling it.
That's 77%, leads the nation in field goal percentage. Of course, so much was made this week of the missed free throws late in that loss to Oklahoma. But is he reliable when you give him the ball in that spot? Graham, front rim, and the rebound Williams.
How much was that a point of emphasis? There's somebody here on campus yelling at the dormitory.
That was unbelievable. They had to call the police the other day because an older Kansas fan was showing up at the basketball player's dorm to try to repeatedly offer free throw shooting advice as Gilder is able to score.
There's no truth to the rumors, by the way. I do radio out in Los Angeles for ESPN. There's no truth to the rumor that Luke Walton flew that same fan out to talk to the Lakers.
Well, Bill Self made the point. He said, listen, if it's Rick Barry, I'm all for it. Holly.
Yeah, he was not going to go with just the random fan off the street showing up at the dorms. But Devontae Graham was a great leader of this team. After the game, immediately after that Oklahoma loss on the bus, he went up to Udoka and was like, hey, we've got your back. You're going to face a lot of criticism this week. Don't listen to it. We teammates, listen to us. And then yesterday at practice, Bill Self pulled him aside one-on-one. They spent about 20 good minutes working on his form, pushing his elbow in on his shot, settling him down. He hit 9 in a row at one point. So this is going to get fixed as they go along.
You can see the effort he was putting in, and you can see the results in warm-up as Graham steps over Starks and he's able to secure the ball. Final minute here, big lead for Kansas. Mikhailuk baseline drive, and he was fouled. Second on Robert Williams.
I'll test you. You mentioned Doak working on it. Look, you start inside. Now watch where his teammates go as we time lapse this, and watch where he is. He stayed in a straight line all the way to the free throw line, all the way through shoot-around.
I love that. It's like a beehive and then a statue. But that shows you the commitment and the dedication to trying to fix what was such a problem.
Well, and I'll also tell you, it's a psychological thing for a player. You know, and he's trying to get his mind right, his routine right on a consistent basis. And that comes with doing it with pressure. He hasn't been to the free throw line yet. And we'll see if it has that carryover. But when you put in that kind of work, that kind of effort, you can obviously see that he understands where he's at and where he needs to continue to grow.
And he was intentionally fouled 4 times late to help the Sooners come back. Missed 6 straight free throws in the final minutes. He was 1 for 8 overall in that game. But a young man willing to work hard and develop. Reminder, the Alfa Romeo halftime report is coming your way. Get you up to speed with what happened in Tuscaloosa with Trey Young and Colin Sexton and UVA. I mean, what a statement at Cameron Indoor as they have put a stranglehold on opponents' offenses this week. Starks able to get to the 10 past Mikhailuk.
A lot of things have gone positive for Kansas here in the first half. The defense staying attached, the communication, and the offense has just flowed from beyond the arc.
.4 will remain here. From the corner. Why not? Mitch Lightfoot. And with zeros on the clock, the largest lead. You gotta smile, Coach Self. He loves it. And so do these fans here at Allen Fieldhouse. As good as it gets from the Jayhawks there, Holly.
Well, Coach, how do you describe the defensive impact and energy your team has right now?
We played pretty well on both ends. It helps when you make a lot of threes early, but I thought we guarded them pretty well, and although they rebounded the ball better than us, we negated their size advantage for the most part.
You'd really challenged Gerald Vick to put his handprint on the game more. How would you describe the handprint so far?
I think he's played well. I think our entire team has played pretty well, and certainly Marcus and Mitch and Sylvia off the bench were all good.
Thanks, Coach.
Mikhailuk with 17. 5 different players made a three-pointer there in that first half for Kansas. 45-27 they lead. Now, let's get to Reese Davis and halftime.
All right, Joe, that was just in case A&M forgot what it was like in Fog Allen Fieldhouse from their old Big 12 days. Glad to have you with us. Alfa Romeo halftime report. Jay Williams, Seth Greenberg here. Top 4 matchup. Virginia and Duke and Cameron Indoor. Marvin Bagley, the third, rolled one in. Duke was down 10 at halftime, came roaring back, but Virginia continues to show poise.
They did a terrific job putting a playmaker in the middle of that zone where he could score it or move it.
Only 5 turnovers for the Cavs today.
Yeah, but there was no stopping the down low force for Duke. Both Marvin Bagley and Wendell Carter were phenomenal in this ballgame.
No man bun, no problem. Kyle Guy, Virginia, 5-point lead. Ty Jerome from behind the arc. See it and be it.
Oh, was that a ball fake? Who uses ball fakes anymore?
Good players.
Bagley couldn't get that one to go. He had 30 points. That was his 6th 30-point game. Only 7 30-point games by freshmen in Duke history, but not enough as Virginia wins in Cameron. Carolina and NC State driving all the way to the bucket with Theo Penson. Cameron Johnson fouled on the putback. 90% free throw shooter, hit both. NC State was torrid from behind the arc, but Markel Johnson couldn't get that one to go. No real problem because the Wolfpack had already beaten Duke on the road this year. Top 10 Duke team. Did the same to Carolina. Luke May knocks down the 3. But how about Al Freeman, who had missed the floater? Yurtseven there to finish.
Al Freeman with a big-time game, 29 points, but then the finish down low, give up offensive rebound. NC State with a big-time win. Kevin Keats is a star.
15-7 now. North Carolina State, they'll help their resume for sure, Seth. Let's go back to that Duke-Virginia game. Virginia hadn't won in Cameron Indoor since 1995, all 17 straight road games against them. You mentioned on game day this morning, veteran team, it's a young team. What evidence did you see of that in this game?
I saw a veteran team with toughness and a focus. I saw a veteran team that didn't turn it over. Only 5 turnovers. Duke turns it over 16 times. When Duke went zone, they put the ball in the middle of playmaker, whether it's Devin Hall and DeAndre Hunter, and those guys made plays. Virginia was better.
What does it say about how good UVA's defense is, considering they shot 39% from the field and 27% from the three-point line, and they won a game on the road at Duke?
Says they're a Final Four
That's
team.
incredible.
Season low output.
They held Duke to 63 points, and they averaged 92.
Own the tempo against that zone.
Wow.
Duke doesn't take anything away from you defensively.
I agree. They don't disrupt.
And there wasn't a lot of aggression in terms of looking for a shot for Grayson Allen.
5 points for Grayson Allen. That dude's got to get after it. They got to get him shots.
He needs to be the Grayson Allen of last year, but as far as mentality and the mindset to be aggressive each and every possession.
Duval's got to get him the ball.
Here are a couple of dudes that can get shots.
Yes.
Oklahoma and Alabama, Trae Young and Colin Sexton. Every NBA scout on the face of the earth was there to watch these two guys. There's Trae Young hitting one over John Petty. He's actually ranked a spot ahead of him in the ESPN Top 100 recruiting. Young again. But you know, he had 17 points in this game. This is the lowest since his college debut. Ahead of the field.
Young bull.
Then Herbert Jones on the finish. He's a developmental player. And how about Sexton using that strength inside? He had 18 points, outscored Young by 1. A good win for Alabama, another good win at home.
Huge, and they made Trae Young defend. A huge win for Alabama at home.
West Virginia and Kentucky going to get started. Mountaineers already out here getting loose. Javon Carter, he's going to put some pressure on those cat youngsters.
Woo!
Halftime report is presented by Alfa Romeo.
DirecTV has been rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable for 17 years running. But some people still like cable, just like some people like pre-shaken sodas, having their seat kicked on an airplane, being rammed by a shopping cart, sitting in gum, and walking into a glass door. But for everyone else, there's DirecTV. For #1 rated customer satisfaction over cable, switch to DirecTV and get a $200 reward card. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Yo, we the witnesses to the genesis.
The game becomes limitless when it's positionless.
Hey, yo, the talent on the court is ridiculous.
But let's see who's still standing when it finishes.
Celtics, Warriors, tonight at 8:30 on ABC, presented by YouTube TV.
You're watching the Alfa Romeo Halftime Report.
For the Big 12 SEC Challenge, Texas Tech taking on South Carolina. Cocky up 58-57. Frank Booker with the 3. It's a 4-point edge for Cocky, but Keenan Evans able to answer.
Yeah, one of the most underrated guards in the country. This is 2 wins in a row for Texas Tech, finally starting to find their rhythm again offensively.
Do they remind you a little bit of last year's South Carolina team with their toughness?
Great when they play defense and lockdown.
Maybe a Final Four team.
Did you see how close this was? 47 seconds left, and then that toughness allowed the Red Raiders to win it by a touchdown. 70-63 win for the Big 12. Got to finish. Duquesne and Rhodey tied at 58. Waning seconds. Stanford Robinson all game.
12 wins in a row for the Rams. E.C. Matthews with a big-time performance in the second half.
They got two pretty good lefties. Stan Robinson, Indiana transfer, started at Aldous Hicks High School in Virginia. Very good player.
You know how many three-pointers Stanford Robinson made today?
Probably one.
One.
He's a slasher.
Oh, that was the one he needed, wasn't it?
Yes,
61 to 58. It's kind of quiet WVU Coliseum now. Won't be for long.
A cheeseburger and a free shake.
It's my kind of deal, because I also am both hot and cool.
Okay. How are you hot? Okay.
Get a free small classic shake with a cheeseburger or a foot-long coney. This is how you Sonic.
This halftime report is presented by Alfa Romeo.
Pay heed, all who enter at the moment. The Big 12 SEC Challenge is 3-2 in favor of the Big 12. Going to go at least 4-2. Kansas has this thing well in hand, I would say. Question for Kentucky of the SEC tonight is how they will handle their road trip in here to WVU Coliseum. Take on this West Virginia press. Kentucky hasn't seen a lot of it this year. What do you expect tonight?
Key to Kentucky is get stops and rebound the ball on the defensive end so they don't have to play against the pressure. When West Virginia's not making shots, their half-court defense isn't as good.
And I think for Kentucky, too, use that size and that length. You don't have to face up and put the ball in front of the defenders like Javon Carter. Look over the top, be strong with the ball, and get offensive rebounds. They can do that. They can win the game.
All right, we'll have West Virginia hosting Kentucky coming up in a bit. Second half from Lawrence coming up. This has been the Alfa Romeo halftime report.
Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy as we are here at Allen Fieldhouse for the Big 12 SEC Challenge. And A&M has presented no challenge for Bill Self, who is all smiles with a 45-27 lead at the half. Joe Tessitore and Sean Farnham with you. What a three-point showcase first half it was for Kansas. They hit 10 three-pointers, 5 different players hitting threes.
Well, and it comes down to pace of play. For A&M to have a chance to win this game, they were going to have to keep Kansas around 70 points.
That ain't happening.
Not happening with the way the first half went.
Man.
Let me just tell you, it's not just about the three-point looks. How do you make 10 three-point looks, Tess? Well, you share the basketball, you find clean, uncontested shots. We saw that for a majority of the first half. 11 assists on 16 made field goals. 10 of those were from beyond the arc. That's an assist rate of 69% on made field goals. Excellent execution, excellent unselfishness by the Jayhawks in the first 20.
Coach Billy Kennedy's group has to figure things out, Holly wrote.
That's right, and he said what the problem is that we're just a step late getting out to contest those threes. He wants guys in better position, playing more aggressive perimeter defense. And then on offense, he said Tyler Davis is just holding the ball a little bit too long. When he doesn't have a look or they're contesting his shot, he's got to pitch the ball back out, let their guards do some work, and just get some better ball movement for A&M.
Tyler Davis, their big man, was just 2 of 8 shooting, 4 points in that first half. And he starts off the second half in better form. And right on cue, the way the game started all of a sudden, now it's Robert Williams. It was Davis earlier in the game who went down, and now it's Williams. So both big men. Williams, of course, so key to their success. Averages over 10 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 2.3 blocks. He is the do-it-all big man.
And here's Williams right here. You're going to see him float to this side of the floor as the shot goes up. He's trying to box out and just plants ever so slightly. It looked like that left ankle kind of extended and went the wrong direction.
Thank goodness he is up and making his way down the court and back out there. Such a bummer last night to see what happened to Cousins with the Achilles injury, wasn't it, Sean?
Just
we were both watching
that game. He's at the free throw line, makes a hustle play. The Pelicans are playing well. He's about to be in the All-Star game in Los Angeles on February 18th as a starter. And to have that Achilles injury happen to him after the game that he had last week, too.
One of the all-time great stat lines you will ever see.
Look, he joined Wilt. Anytime you're able to do something where your name is associated with Wilt, you know you've done something really well.
Well, we have a player in this game who can say the same. Devontae Graham, who now has moved into the top 25 on the all-time scoring list. Passing Wilt Chamberlain, Sean.
And here's what it looks like. Again, it's not just the professional ranks, but you're able to do something down here and pass Wilt Chamberlain and be part of this Kansas program. I don't know what's more astounding, Graham's success or the fact that Wilt was 26th all time.
I mean, can you imagine what program could say that? Starks went up strong, drew the foul.
I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest people to ever touch leather on the court. And you're like, oh, yeah, he's 26. Now, Wilt, in all due respect, he only played 48 games.
Right.
Okay, so that kind of changes things
It's still
a little bit.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
At the line, TJ Starks, shooting 2.
Number 13. But when you look up at the rafters here at Allen Fieldhouse, you see numerous Hall of Famers and all-time greats.
It's a who's who of basketball. Leave your mark, and that's the challenge that comes to every Jayhawk who walks in here. This building, you mentioned it, reminds you of the Lambeau Field type facilities, Wrigley Field. What comes with that is a sense of responsibility to the past, the tradition of the program. That's why they've had unparalleled success inside the Big 12 and continue to build upon the tradition year after year, even when there have been coaching changes in the past. And obviously Bill Self has brought stability here after Roy Williams.
Davis to the lane, gathering himself and traveled. See the frustration on his face. Coming off 3 straight double-doubles. He has 8 on the season. Graham put it up there looking for Gerald Vick. Mikhailu. What a speed. He has 20.
The difference is astounding when you watch these offenses. Who's getting the type of shots that you want to see? For A&M, they want to see Robert Williams catching it on a roll and ducking right into the paint and finishing with a dunk. For Tyler Davis is back to the basket. They're not seeing those looks in the half-court set for the Aggies.
All too easy. Oh, that's a technical foul. That's a technical foul as Davis went deservedly for. And he put a little too much sauce on it.
Well, it's not about the sauce, it's about the pepper. He spiced it up a little bit on the finish.
Sure did.
You cannot stand over a player and look down demonstratively like Azubuike just did.
Gave a little bit of nasty. That doesn't go over well.
Guys, as soon as that happened, Bill Self reacted quickly on the bench. He is furious at Azubuike. He quickly got Mitch Lightfoot to the table. Azubuike's going to have to come out, and I have a feeling Bill's going to let him know about this because he thought that was poor sportsmanship.
Just no need for it. You make a tremendous move. The flop, the finish. You don't need to stand over him and look down. Now, naturally, he was going to stand over him. Don't even look at him. What are you possibly going to accomplish by
the way,
that?
Point made with what you did physically to the man.
The move you just made, there's your statement.
On the other end, Gilder, he hit the deck pretty hard there as he gets himself back to his feet.
When Billy Kennedy's asking, what do I have to do to get a foul call to get my guy to the free throw line?
Graham tried to reverse it. And a loose ball. Mikhailu. Fouled there. Steve Mikhailu with 22 points as he came up with the ball and finished.
A loose ball, looks like A&M's going to gather it. They try to dribble it rather than pick it up, and that's a mistake by Starks. Because he didn't secure possession, it gave it back out to Mikhailu.
putting on a show here in the middle of this Big 12 SEC challenge. When we tipped, Big 12 was up 3-2. South Carolina had a chance against Texas Tech, but Evans was tremendous down the stretch of that game. And then the big showdown of the freshman guards went Sexton and Alabama's way as Oklahoma lost in Tuscaloosa. Florida, the other winner for the SEC. Texas and K-State came up winners today. Georgia, that was a competitive game that Georgia gave way in against K-State. Of course, the big one tonight set to come your way will be Kentucky at number 7, West Virginia. And his jumper goes for Robert Williams.
If you say jumper goes for Robert Williams, Bill Self will clap on the sideline and say, hey, we did our part. Force him to step away from the basket. Do not allow him to get deep in the paint. And they've done a good job of that throughout the course of this game.
Newman, short corner. Leave Newman with 10 points. He's coming off back-to-back 20-point games. Had 24 against Baylor, had 20 at Oklahoma. Also had a career-high 4 steals in one.
They're playing with great composure right now and allowing the game to come to him. That's a travel.
Sure is. I mean, he slid a good 6 feet, did J.J. Chandler.
And Newman gets the tie-up, though, and it'll be Kansas ball on the jump ball.
Our Wilt Chamberlain conversation will continue with a little insight from Miss Holly Rowe when we come back.
Well, you talk about the legacy left by former Kansas players. They have just remodeled their locker room and player lounge section. And the legacy of all the former players is strong. There's so many great pictures and graphics that they're putting up in there. But if you are Wilt Chamberlain, you still have your own standalone wall. You can see the wall there. That is only dedicated to Wilt. All of his accolades there are etched in stone. A gorgeous new facility for these KU players to hang out in, watch film in, and have meetings.
And don't ever doubt Holly Rowe's ability to get into a player's lounge. All access everywhere she goes, as it has been all Kansas. 56-40, plus turnovers, 18-2 advantage there.
That's A&M last year, a season ago. They really struggled in the point guard position. And the turnovers were over 25% of their possessions ended in turnovers. Today, it's too much of last year and not enough of what was successful early.
Opens! Lajero Vick from Devontae Graham. Davis with the turn with the right hand as he's able to score over Lightfoot. 10 points now for Davis. Better second half for him.
Let's go back to that last offensive possession. You get this 2 or 3 times. Kansas fans know it. They usually do it out of a timeout. Look, just an elevation, and Robert Williams having such a lack of awareness of where his man was because he's ball watching at the defensive end of the floor.
He took that extra lingering step forward, and then the cut by Vick was costly.
And there wasn't even a screen on that play. That's just a simple back cut. Bill Self with great hands, the Hall of Fame coach on the sidelines. Look at that.
That's a 2017 inductee. 13 straight regular season Big 12 titles for Coach Self. Shot clock counting down. And Tippett would go with Hogue trailing the play, but that will. As Hogue has now. Graham, good body control, couldn't finish. Rebound Lightfoot. Mikhailuk blocked. Graham comes back up with it.
And luckily for Texas A&M, they stopped the game because Robert Williams anticipated the block shot leading to a potential run out and was at the other end of the floor. There was a numbers advantage for Kansas.
We're going to take a look at the shot clock here, wouldn't we?
Once the block shot comes right there.
They may have reset the shot clock.
They did.
Inadvertently.
You're going to take a couple seconds off of it. I love this day, Tess. To me, this day is about ownership, and it's ownership for the Big 12 and the SEC. The college basketball world kind of pauses. I know we had Virginia knock off Duke earlier on today, but these matchups is a statement in the middle of conference play to break and kind of find a reset and find your swag.
Of course, the Saturday primetime game presented by AT&T will be Kentucky and number 7 West Virginia. That'll be the nightcap of the Big 12 SEC Challenge. West Virginia back home after that road loss at TCU. It's interesting to size up these two conferences this year because by all accounts the Big 12 is king of the hill right now, a top-heavy conference, but solid throughout. But the SEC, if you look at it coming in today, there are projections of 8 teams that could make their way to March Madness. We're so used to having the king of the hill with Kentucky, but there's parity in depth.
Well, and why do these two conferences have so many teams in play for the NCAA tournament? It comes down to guard play, and this is the year of the guards for both conferences. Trae Young, obviously the centerpiece, has been the face of college basketball. Keenan Evans, we talked about earlier, his play and how important it is for Texas Tech in their victory earlier. Colin Sexton in the SEC, but Auburn having a great year with Bryce Brown, Chris Chioza, Tremont Waters. LSU not part of this challenge, by the way. They beat A&M twice. Neither is Auburn.
And that's the big one.
And Auburn's likely to win the SEC based on how the schedule plays out the remainder of the year. But in college basketball, we can talk about size. Hey, Texas A&M's got plenty of size out on the floor right now. How's that size matched up with the speed, versatility, and the guard play that we've seen from Kansas? It hasn't worked out very well so far this afternoon.
In a hostile environment like this. But you mentioned Auburn at 18-2, sitting atop the SEC standings at 6-1, but obviously offset with the 14 teams to the 10 teams. So it's LSU, Mizzou, Mississippi State, and Auburn sitting out this Big 12 SEC Challenge dance. And that is a team that the SEC would have loved to have in the challenge. Newman through the lane. He got himself in a little bit of trouble. The big 6'10" Williams was waiting on him. And now the call. As that is on Lightfoot, his second.
Good job by Robert Williams, all of a sudden starting to make his impact in this game at the defensive end. Back-to-back shot attempts on that possession he got his fingertips on. One the three and then that one on the drive.
6 blocks apiece here in this game. Of course, A&M averages just over 6 blocks a game. Number 2 in the SEC, top 8 nationally with all their length and wingspan.
You can't throw an entry pass and complete it. You got 0% chance of winning inside this building.
You know, speaking of winning things today, it'll be interesting to see how things play out in this challenge. We were just mentioning Auburn not being in. Vanderbilt is a team that hasn't quite had the season that they had a year ago. They just beat TCU, so now the challenge is 3 apiece, Sean.
That's a big win for Bryce Drew. Bryce Drew has changed Vanderbilt, and you're not seeing it on the floor this year. So where are you seeing it? In the recruiting front. They have 2 top 15 recruits coming to Nashville next year.
Take by Garrett, his first basket of the day. Into Williams. And into the hands of Vic. Tried to come behind the back. Instead, it's a turnover. Starks, 16-footer front rims. Good effort that time, but Troshaw Morelos. And the tip will go and the foul.
Well, Tess, a year ago, number 44 in maroon was seen as a guy that potentially could be a lottery pick, yet he came back to college. Who is he when he's at his best? I'll tell you. In this modern era of the NBA where it's so much about the perimeter shot, I would ask Robert Williams at his best to be exactly who you see on the right-hand side of your screen. A former Aggie in his own right, DeAndre Jordan. Their abilities, their length, their strengths as a basketball player are pretty similar. Now, Robert Williams actually a better shooter, but he lacks the aggressiveness consistently and the motor that DeAndre Jordan has. You see the similarities in height, weight, and wingspan. If Robert Williams locks out all of those around him, and everybody that says on the draftexpress.coms and all that, hey, become a better shooter. No. Do what you do best. Dominate inside the paint.
Well, meaningful returns brought to you by TD Ameritrade. The return of Robert Williams to Texas A&M.
And again, he was projected to be a late lottery. Not just late first round, late lottery. And he came back, said he wasn't mature enough. And now as we kind of come to that second, third, and the middle portion of the season, almost in that final third, he needs to start reasserting himself. He coming off a very good game last time out where he had a double-double. But it needs to be like that on a consistent basis.
You know, Sean, Darby Rich is the strength and conditioning coach for the Aggies. I'll make another comparison. We talk about him being a freak athlete. Darby says he's the best jumper leaper he's ever seen. Now, keep in mind, Darby was at Oklahoma when Blake Griffin was there.
That's pretty strong.
Yep. From the corner, it's Marcus Garrett.
You can jump all you want, but if you can shoot like Kansas, boy, is it fun to watch. Space the floor, share the basketball, and then let it ride.
They have done that all day long. There's the feed that time to the inside to Davis.
Yeah, they brought the double team on the big on big double. And that opened up Davis. No weak side guard, pinching and cracking back down to take that pass away. From Kansas, I'm staying close to the basket and protecting the paint.
Kyluk will head to the line.
And Tess, the reason why that is, A&M has not made a three-point shot in the second half. They are just 2 for 11 in the entire game.
Meanwhile, Kansas was 12 three-pointers made. Here in the midst of this Big 12 SEC challenge that stands at 3-3 right now. And about to go 4-3 SEC because Tennessee is up big late against Iowa State. So it'll come down, if this game holds, to Oklahoma State at Arkansas, and then the prime game right here on ESPN, Kentucky on the road at 7th-ranked West Virginia.
If this ends in a tie, Tess, that is a massive statement for the SEC, especially as we mentioned, playing without 2 teams that are expected to be in the tournament in Missouri and Auburn.
The Big 12 won the first 3 years of the challenge. Wilson through the lane. Rebound by Lightfoot. And then last year they split it 5-5. Graham! Well, Dipsy-Do wouldn't go. But to your point, Auburn sits atop the SEC standings now, and they are one of the teams not participating in the challenge. Wilson, 3-ball drains in. Wayne Wilson, who's been dealing with that right knee injury, suffered against Alabama in late December, and to many still hasn't looked like he's at 100% health. Saw more of TJ Starks today as he made his first start. And the turnover. As Wilson trying to create the spark here, and then that foul is going to be on McIver.
And Joe, just to follow up, it's a tremendous job that Dwayne Wilson is playing to even come back and play. I'm told by the PR people that he has a partial tear in a ligament in that knee, so that he's out here in a very significant brace, still trying to make an impact on this team is something. I do think that TJ Starks, the little freshman, in his first career start, though, has shown us some good things, so good things to look forward to for Texas A&M.
That's true, Holly. By the way, Azubuike back in the game. Remember, he got the technical at the 17-18 mark. Under 10 minutes to play now, and he returns. Bill Self was not pleased. Shot clock down to 3. Davis trying to find something. And all he found was too much rim. There. Gilder coming out and fouls Garrett. Now this is why we didn't see much of Doak.
Well, see, the problem is Tyler Davis with the flop, and then you see a lot of Doak, and then you see too much of Doak. And Bill Self, you see the light foot coming up, and then watch the walk-up. This is the worst. Yeah, the ignore is the worst thing. As a player, you'd rather have your coach yell at you than ignore you.
I'm so disappointed in you as a parent.
I love that. I try that at home all the time.
Graham coming around Gilder, and then a good feed to Marcus Garrett.
They space the floor. You move without the basketball. You find the open spot, and then you have unselfish teammates.
7 assists per Graham. He averages 7.5 as the Big 12 preseason player of the year. He has delivered time and time again, and he has been out there time and time again. Been logging some serious minutes in the recent stretch. 6 times this season he's played 40 minutes. So getting into this today. Graham spin, couldn't get the finish.
Gilder's thought about it and then turned it down.
Davis won't, but he couldn't connect.
I would have rather had Gilder shoot that shot.
Newman behind the back. And then 17-footer. How about it, Barnum? Yeah, that is pretty good, my friend Lightfoot.
Oh, that is a thing of beauty. Malik Newman knows a thing or two about the SEC. Well, behind the back, step back, everything flowing. Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU.
I'm Adnan Burke, back in our college basketball studios, updating you on TCU Vanderbilt, all for the Big 12 SEC Challenge today. This is Riley LaChance for 3, and then TCU trying to tie its Kawat Noi. Has a look, but does not drop. So anchor down. Vanderbilt pulls off the victory here. 81-78, the final. LaChance pacing the way with 24 points. Back to Joe Tess and Sean Farn.
Thank you, Burke. Look at that guy sitting right there above the scoreboard of the challenge. You see that shirt? The homemade split-sewn shirt of half Kansas, half A&M. Well, that's mom and dad of Kyra, who's a Kansas cheerleader. But they went to school in College Station. But Kyra's getting her way a little bit. Mom's in the Kansas gear. Dad said, I'll meet you halfway. So Kyra made the shirt for Dad to wear.
Yeah, if you make a shirt for your mom and dad and you get them tickets, you better get it. The stitch quality actually is really good. Look at the collar. The seam line is really nice.
Williams putting down the other end of it.
Oh, give some credit
this
here.
Is down to a 13-point margin.
A&M, a little bit of fight back here in the second half.
Garrett probing as Williams extends out. Now the screen. Kick out. Newman. And Williams with the rebound. Opportunity for the Aggies to find something here.
Williams was available again. They missed him. Now they get it to him though off the block.
Flag, nice feed. Davis. Good work that time. Savion Flag finding Tyler Davis.
You got to be smart because I'll tell you this, there's been a couple times this year where Kansas has looked like it's controlled the game and it's turned it back over to its opponent and said, okay, hey, we're comfortable, make us uncomfortable. Is A&M doing that right now?
Welcome to Morgantown, West Virginia. We're waiting actually for the first time in Morgantown since the 1970s, and that's the senior Javon Carter. He leads the nation in steals. Coach Cal says his team has to be ready for physicality, which means getting to the ball first, also being ready to rip through and square up. So we'll see if the freshman can handle the pressure. Either way, that guy's ready. He's played over 127 career games.
I love that courtside access we get from Maria Taylor. She'll be on the call with Jay Billis and Dan Shulman. Kentucky and West Virginia coming your way. Saturday night prime time at 7 Eastern right here. In that matchup, Kentucky-West Virginia is going to be fascinating. Obviously, the huge experience edge for West Virginia with Carter and Miles.
Carter's better. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander's having a nice year for Kentucky. Carter's one of the best players in the country. Look at the experience factor. This Kentucky team is young. That's not breaking news for anybody that watches college basketball, but it's excessively young this year. Wenyen Gabriel, the only returner that had any significant minutes, and because of that, I think it's going to be very tough for Kentucky to find any success inside Morgantown. I expect the Mountaineers to win that game.
As Graham draws the foul, and he is slow to get up at the end of that.
Well, he can be slow. You know how many minutes this guy's logged recently?
Oh, talked about it. He
Take a break.
An Iron Man.
You get fouled going to the basket right now. If you're Devontae Graham, you're just going to lay there for a minute or two longer. If they allow you to sit there, just catch your breath a little bit.
Top 5 free throw shooter in the Big 12. Shoots over 85% from the stripe. Young man has had a great career. All the senior leadership. Originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, prepped up in New England at Brewster Academy. Trying to get that baseline cut to Robert Williams. Tough to see sometimes when you don't execute the way you want.
Two made threes here in the second half of the Jayhawks after 10 in the first.
Vic couldn't control it, and then the Aggies waste an opportunity. That is 14 turnovers now.
You love the hustle here by Robert Williams, but look at Admon Gilder. He's standing right in front of you. Make the simple pass. Why are you trying to throw it from your back across the floor when someone's standing right in front of you and you can just toss it to him?
Here's the finish. And there it is. You can see that one from a mile away. And that time, just a nice, friendly jog back down the court from Azubuike. .4-5 advantage in points off turnovers. Oh, nice return delivery from Robert Williams. Going up and putting it back. Aggies trying to cut it down here with under 5 minutes to play. Haven't been within single digits since it was 27-18 in the first half. Davis coming through the lane. And the foul.
If you don't put a body on a big, they're going to embarrass you. Watch Doak. He puts his hands up. He knows where he wants the ball. As the defense starts to pinch in, he's ready on the catch and the finish up over the top of Tyler Davis. And at the other end of the floor, oh, what a finish. Other end of the floor, nobody boxes out Robert Williams. And by the time you put a body on him, he's already in the iron. The athleticism and the strength underneath. Impressive.
1-1 here. And Davis at the line.
Lane violation called on Kansas.
Lane violation. So Davis will reset things.
Tyler Davis is without question the leader of this A&M team, and when he was a freshman, he was able to watch Alex Caruso, who is one of the greatest leaders to ever play at A&M. He started as a ball boy there, then ended up playing there, and now playing for the Lakers. In fact, the Lakers have not lost a game in which Aggie graduate Alex Caruso has played more than 18 minutes.
With that effort from Tyler Davis, we've got ourselves all of a sudden a 10-point margin. Fieldhouse got a little sleepy earlier in the second half. A foul away from the ball. That's going to be Troshaw Morelos, his first, as Garrett was on the go. Graham coming around the corner, kicking to the corner, just off the mark for Garrett, who decides to drive and finishes with the left hand. He has 9, and it's back to 12. Good second half from Marcus Garrett.
Touch on that shot test, phenomenal. Robert Williams coming over from the help side position, the elevation and the finish. It's not all about power when you talk about Doak.
Morelos with the 3 ball. Kansas had stepped on the gas just a little bit, but an answer from A&M, Tony Troshaw Morelos. First time we've seen Steve. Settle this thing down. 2.5 to play. Newman! Malik Newman. Strong move.
So quick, so explosive. He saw the seam and attacked. No help side rotation on the back line, able to finish easy.
Big man again from outside. Troshaw Morelos. Quick break when we come back. More on Graham and what makes him tick. And tick, and tick. The Iron Man, Jayhawk. Holly will discuss it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Get back to 100%. And in part by LegalZoom. Get legal help for your business and family at LegalZoom.com.
Says been trying to do too much, was 0 for 6 shooting the 3 against TCU. They'll need a big night out of him against Kentucky tonight. That's coming up on ESPN at 7 Eastern as we continue with the Big 12 SEC Challenge. Speaking of capable guards, Devontae Graham's been an Iron Man. Holly, how does he do it?
Well, that's right. He has played every minute of the last 4 games. So we talked to their strength and conditioning coach and their athletic trainer about how they're keeping him fresh with rest and recovery. Because he is moving forward on his legs so much, he gets very sore legs and calves like most players do. So he wears these little devices called Fireflies. They provide a small electrical current right here on a nerve that provides a pump in your leg. Your leg will jerk and pump so the blood starts moving. When your blood moves, it removes metabolic waste from your leg, so that relieves some of your soreness, allows you to heal faster and better. So who knew a little Firefly is helping Devontae Graham keep flying out on the court?
Holly, are you wearing that out for dinner tonight?
I love this place, Tess.
So loud. Allen Fieldhouse comes to life as things have tightened up just a bit here in the final moments. As A&M seemed hopeless for a bit, but fought their way back to a 10-point margin. Graham tried to come around and under with the right hand. They're going to bring this thing in for a landing as Starks is forced to come up and foul Graham. Reminder that SportsCenter is coming your way at 11 Eastern tonight with John Anderson and Kevin Connors to break down everything going on with the Warriors, Celtics, Steph-Kyrie matchup. Tiger Woods, of course, back on the tour, first time in 29 months, and the full day in college hoops. And it has been a good one, and it will continue to be as we continue with the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
Talk about Devontae Graham, only player in college basketball at the Division I level, averaging better than 17 points per game, 7+ assists, and 2+ steals.
1 minute remaining.
Malik Newman has had himself a nice night as well. Here he is through the lane. And he will head to the line.
A good job driving and attacking that time by Malik Newman, a talented freshman that was sent to Mississippi State. And he was on the court with me at the SEC Media Day with Ben Simmons. And I said, what's it going to be like, you know, when you get to your sophomore year, how much more comfortable are you going to be? He goes, I'm not going to be around here my sophomore year.
Oh, boy.
Now, he actually was factually correct.
But not the way he intended for that to be the result.
The intention was to say he would be in the NBA. Instead, he transferred out and ended up here in Lawrence, Kansas.
Former McDonald's All-American who at the time was the prized stay-at-home recruit for Mississippi State. And who goes up high to tear down that ball and will head to the line again. And you know the familiar chant that's starting up here in Lawrence.
Malik Newman is shooting game 1-1.
th consecutive sellout here at Allen Fieldhouse, dating all the way back to the 01-02 season. On three from Poe, didn't have a chance. The meat of the Big 12 season, you get this non-conference challenge. They've only lost one non-conference game at Allen Fieldhouse since November 2006. They started red hot shooting a three against A&M, pushed back the Aggies' effort late, and coast in for a quality win. Fourth straight win for Kansas in the Big 12 SEC Challenge.
200th win inside this building underneath Bill Self against an unranked opponent. And they are the toast of the Big 12. The conference, the best conference in the country. It's been that way from the start of this year. And the race is going to be tough. But at the end of it, until somebody can come in this building, Tess, and knock them off, it's hard to believe it's going to happen.
They shot the ball great. Bill Self, Billy Kennedy, as the Big 12 and SEC on this challenge day are now all tied up at 4. As it'll be Oklahoma State, Arkansas, and then Kentucky, West Virginia to decide this one-day challenge of conference supremacy.
Jayhawks defensively in the first 20 minutes, Tess. They stayed really attached. They made life difficult for A&M. In the second 20, you saw lapses, and that's what allowed A&M to get some momentum and tighten this up after they were trailing by 18 at the break. But the no panic The veteran leadership of the Jayhawks makes this team special.
Jumped out with those 10 made three-pointers in the first half. So let's check in with Holly.
Well, he's been here for 4 years, but Svi, this is our first time we've ever done an interview. You have come into your own in the last 3 or 4 games. 24 points today. What is it that you're finding, learning about yourself?
He's like aggressive guy. He's like tough guy. So every time on the court, you gotta be aggressive, drive the ball, be tough on defense, and just do whatever he asks you to do.
Early in this game, the three-point line was wide open. You guys were hitting everything. Why is that this team feeds off that three-point energy?
I think just because the defensive team is like helping a lot, and we're driving the ball. Everybody's sucking in. We just kick it out. It's an open shot all the time.
Coming off a loss, how important was this kind of performance, defensively and offensively, to kind of get back on track?
It's really important because, you know, we lost, and we just got to get back on our track, get a dub, just feel our confidence, and just feel that we can win.
All right, we'll see you Monday in Manhattan, Kansas against KU. Thanks, Svi.
Svi was great. He had 24 points, 4 threes, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Kansas 10 straight wins versus their old conference opponents, A&M now. 79-68 the final. For Sean and Holly, I'm Joe Tessitore, asking you to enjoy the rest of your night, including Kentucky and West Virginia soon to come. But first, College Game Day with Reese and the guys.
Welcome to College Game Day, live from Morgantown, West Virginia. Covered by State Farm.
Closing in on the headliner tonight from almost heaven in West Virginia, the Mountaineer is ready for Kentucky, who rolls in here for the first time since 1970. Bob Huggins, coaching at his alma mater. Only 2 active coaches have more wins than the man who might well soon be in the Naismith Hall of Fame, going against his buddy John Calipari. They haven't met since that game in the 2015 NCAA tournament when Daxter Miles, who will play for the Mountaineers tonight, said West Virginia was about to hand Kentucky its first loss. And after the Wildcats smothered Miles and his friends and doubled them up 78-39, Daxter was wrong. But tonight, Miles will have a chance to do a little smothering of his own with that pressing defense, West Virginia against Kentucky. Jay Williams and Seth Greenberg here. We just saw Kansas in the Big 12 SEC Challenge beat Texas A&M. We're even up at 4 apiece for both conferences. You're still taking the field over Kansas. I know it wasn't a conference game.
Last time I checked, A&M isn't in the Big 12
That's
now.
what I said. I know it's not a conference game, but from watching them play, what are you doing?
Look, Kansas is a terrific basketball team. They spread you out. They shoot the ball. I mean, Malik Newman is playing at a high level. Here's the deal. Their front court is still their front court. They're playing in a league where every single game is not a game but an event, especially when they're playing. They've got to go on the road. I started saying I'm going to take the field. I'm going to stick with it.
I don't know if there's a front court in the Big 12 that is that dominating, that's going to be a place they're going to throw the ball every time they play against KU.
It's rebounding, though.
I understand, but the thing I love about KU is that, yes, they are guard dominated, but their guards gang rebound, too. And when I think about Devontae Graham, this kid is tough. Speed is finally playing better. He's making shots. Malik Newman has found himself offensively and defensively. It's just hard for me to bet against a team who knows who they are, who plays with that kind of passion each and every night.
Look, Jay, well, I agree with you, and they got the great home court, and Fogg is incredible. It's not just rebounding, it's rim protections. It's, you know, Doak at the end of the game, are you going to play him? And look, Texas Tech's not going anywhere. These guys here, whether they're here or they're on the road, they're hard to play against. You go down this league, and you're going to have to make shots. Now, 44% of their shots are from the three-point line. If people can defend them, and someone gets hot, who knows? But I'm sticking with it.